Hey, everybody. Good evening, everyone. I'm trying to get some information. I was just told that there's an active shooter in Harlingen at the Annex, and I have a couple of inquiries on that, trying to find out if that's what's going on over there. But apparently, there is an active shooter situation in Harlingen right now at the Annex. So stand by for more of that information. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? This evening for a Monday, I haven't been online too much. Been resting my voice and my throat the last few days. Um, Watching some of the nonsense here and there. We'll get to that too. And then don't forget tonight, back at 10:30 p.m., I'll have my buddy Abel, who's always got opinions, and I'm always open to all opinions. And we'll be back on tonight at 10:30 as well. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Howdy, Texas. Where you guys at? I know we got some California people here. Digital Punk, Roxanne, Marta, Melissa, Mirena, Gina. Hey Susan, glad you made it. Hey, what the heck is going on in Harlingen? Let's see what I can dig up here. Yeah, something's going on there. I'll find out. I'll find out once we get some more information in. Hey, Trisha, Nelda, Christy, Jennifer. Glad you could make it. Delma. Hey, Gina, Patricia, Rosina. Everyone. I'm glad you all can make it. So, there's been someone going live again a lot, and still talking all kinds of all kind of nonsense. And the one thing that I happen to know, so first of all, the mayor of Uvalde has talked about, and obviously it's not going to happen right now, but he's talking about knocking down the building, knocking down the school. Obviously, there's horrible memories, horrible, what just happened, and I would probably agree with that. I think there's been too much of a evil thing that happened that day, and not to mention a lot of what's going on after the fact. It's just a very bad scene. So, but what's happening in the meantime? The investigation is still going on. There are 2 or 3 investigations going on, and things are getting cleaned up. Some things are getting covered physically so the public can't see, and things are being scrubbed and cleaned. Why is that? Well, some will have you believe that it's to erase fingerprints and it's to erase evidence. And guess what? I mean, if you believe that, then whoever believes that is. Whew. I thought about streaming some of that, and I find it very counterproductive to spew that kind of stuff. I mean, for one, it's dangerous. And you haven't heard a lot coming from me regarding that situation. You know why? Because I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. And it's wrong for people to claim they know what happened and they weren't there. Reports will come out. There'll be different reports. I imagine 2 or 3. And eventually truth will come out. Were there some shady things that happened? Probably either shady or lack of leadership could be another one. But I don't claim to know what happened. I'm not going to put myself, pretend I was there, pretend I would have been a hero, because that's bullcrap. I don't blame any of these guys for being told don't go in or to stand down. Dude's got a high-powered rifle in there, and these guys have handguns. And the truth is, right now, nobody knows. I don't care what one person tells you that thinks they were there, but they were not. So, and everybody can give an opinion as to what they think happened. All right, well, that's your opinion. But to be beating down on law enforcement officers, people that were there, and then keep talking about the death, keep talking about the bloodshed, like anybody wants to hear that right now. It's just disgusting. And again, I haven't talked about it a lot. I'm waiting. I want to hear more of an official report before I start to pass on what happened. And passing on what happened and telling people what you think happened, 2 totally different things. I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to claim to know what it feels like to be in that situation, because I was not in that situation. And you know what? She wasn't either. And if I've been getting, there have been some hateful messages. I don't know if you might have seen some of them, but that she's speaking the truth, and why are we streaming her and all this stupid crap as usual. I mean, some of the things that are being said are disgusting and ugly. We're talking about the whole town conspiring, and the whole police force conspiring, or 1 or 2 officers conspiring, only to save their own. And it's just a whole lot of, there's not a lot to say. You could say things just so you can get some views, pretend you know what you're talking about. But if I'm not mistaken, and I don't care how many years it's been, she's an LVN. Claims to be a biologist. And now she claims to be a tactical expert, telling the SWAT team what they should have done, telling the Border Patrol TAC team what they should have done, how they should have done it. You know what? What? It's laughable. It's ridiculous. And yes, could things have been done differently? Everybody is a Monday morning quarterback, and they can say hindsight is 20/20. And of course, you learn from these things, but we still don't know. Still, I'm with the theory, opinion. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm with the theory, and you look at the timeline, and it sure looks that way, that most of the damage he did was done in the first few minutes. He was not in there killing for an hour and a half or almost an hour and a half. It wasn't like that. In the first few minutes, he shot over 100 rounds. Just in the first initial few minutes once he got inside. Educated guess, I'll bet that's when the majority of the damage happened. But beyond that, I'm not prepared to go. I wasn't there. And, everybody was speculating. All the reports started coming out early. Oh, he confronted the guard. He shot the guard. And then it turns out, well, the guard wasn't even there. And then the door, the lady, the teacher, one of the teachers left the door open. She went out to get her cell phone, left the door open. Remember, that came out in the first couple hours. Well, guess what? Well, that wasn't true. She went out, she held the door, and when she came back in, she saw somebody was outside with a gun. She ran and she locked the door. That's what happened. She didn't leave the door open, and he didn't waltz in. So there's a lot of things that are just, you can speculate all you want. You can spin it any way you want to. If you want to get your views and put out your false misinformation or fake news, I like to call it, it's a dangerous game you're playing. And you are belittling the law enforcement officers that were there. And you know what? Were they scared? Hell yeah. I would be too. Yes, they're law enforcement, but they're people too. Of course they're going to be scared. You got to make sure you're doing things the right way. So again, and I'm not the expert, so I'm not about to second guess them. Were certain decisions made that could have been made differently? I suppose, but I still don't know what those are. I'm not going to sit here and claim they should have done this and he should have done that and they all should have done this and this is the way you do it. And post Columbine active shooter. Have you guys looked this up yet? Post Columbine active shooter. Here, watch this. Yeah, post Columbine active shooter protocol. Have you looked it up? I did a search for it. Guess what came up? Nothing. Nothing at all. Why is that? Nothing. Nothing at all. Go ahead. You guys can look it up. Columbine. Post Columbine active shooter. I'm sorry, I just got that message. Protocol. Post Columbine active shooter protocol. Look that up. I don't care what happens, even September 11, what have you, any tragedy that's happened. And I know CNN good for this because everybody wants to be the first one to put out news. Everyone wants to be the first one to know what they're talking about. Oh, I reported that first. We reported this first. But it's always inaccurate. Always inaccurate. Always inaccurate. The only people who knew anything were the ones that were there. And I don't care who's telling you what, they were not there. So, and it's, for someone to claim they know so freaking much, that's just irritating. So, watch some of it over the weekend, just shaking my head. And, apparently she's a jack of all trades, but like they say, master of none. It's a horrible situation that happened over there. And it may take months before we get an answer. I know everybody wants answers now. What happened? But You know, you don't know every freaking thing. You don't know anything. You're not law enforcement. You have no clue. So you watch a lot of CSI or whatever. So do I. I have friends in law enforcement in Chicago. For years. For many years. And I still don't claim to know what goes on and how it happens. You know, why are they wiping things down? You know why? Because there's freaking blood everywhere. There's blood. There's carnage. Things got to get cleaned up. It doesn't stay like that forever. They go in there, crime scene investigation. They take their photos, take their evidence. But guess what? At some point, it needs to start to get cleaned up. And that's what they do. Why would you leave walls with blood, cabinets with blood, desks, chairs with blood? She claims it's to wash away any fingerprints or evidence or whatever. A dumber thing I have heard not. And you know, can you imagine how much spilled blood there is? No, I don't want to talk a lot about it, but then she keeps talking about the carnage and the blood and the bleeding out, and so and so did this, so that person bled out, and then they did that, and that person bled out, and you know he's responsible for people bleeding out and dying. It's like, you know, that's a serious allegation you're putting out there, and that's you know, pretty soon you're going to be in the Johnny Depp's in the Amber Heard seat, and that's a dangerous game to play. Not to mention, you right away, and you got your own reasons. Right away, you're anti-law enforcement. We all know why. But you really think that's a good move for you? You really think that's a good move for you? Whatever. You claim to know it all, and you're going to say you know it all about everything anyway. Yeah. See, that's ridiculous. To say that the police and the people out there wanted them to die. All right, I'm not going to have none of this crap going on between you guys. Everyone is welcome here. Don't start crap. I'll put you in a timeout, and if you keep on, I will block you and delete you. I got no issues with that. So take your sideshow somewhere else. So later on, like I said, I'm going to be back on here at 10:30. I got Abel Vela with me. We're going to talk more about this and gun control. And there's a lot to say about this. The gun nuts are out there right now. Biden wants to, you know, they keep calling some of these guns assault weapons. It's like they're not assault weapons. Jeesh. And you know what? Look, California and Illinois and New York, some of the strictest gun laws in the country. And they got some of the highest shootings and deaths in the country. So it's not the guns that are killing the people. You know, the gun is not walking over there by itself, jumping up in the air and shooting somebody. Like Bam would say, it's a stupid mother effers behind the trigger. Those are the ones killing people. What's up, Bam? Hi, everybody. Everybody who just joined us. Gene, Bam, what's up? D, Patricia. Yeah, you guys gonna, some of you guys got nothing better to do. But whatever, man. Act your age, not your shoe size, please. Anyway, this is more of the conversation we're gonna have later. We're gonna have a couple of more opinions on here, and I mean, still shocking what happened. It's still shocking what happened. And for all this talk to happen last week when all these funerals are going on in the wake for all these kids, it's to talk like that, to try to capitalize on that, whether you're making money on it or not, whatever, I don't know, trying to gain popularity or gain views or an audience, there are better ways to do it. It's just sickening. I don't know. I keep thinking the same thing in my head. You weren't freaking there. You don't know what the hell happened. You weren't there. You didn't know what the hell happened. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on this stuff. I don't want this crap happening in here. Go get a life, guys. Go get a life. And everyone, you've been commenting and sending me messages on all kinds of things, telling me you like the show, you like the topics, you've watched videos, past videos. I appreciate you all. I love you all very, very, very much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Sometimes I say I love you too much. You know what I mean? And I do appreciate you all. I appreciate you, all of you. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so somebody asked, why didn't I know you guys want to watch her. But, and I get it that she's blocked so many people. It's sometimes you just want to watch. But I don't want to promote what she has to say. We can pick it apart here and there afterwards. I'm okay with that. And I still, there's more of it I have to watch. That's why I want to go do another one tonight at 10:30 here. And we can pick it apart, but I don't want to promote that. And frankly, it's very disturbing. And yeah, I suppose, if I wanted the popularity of it or whatever, get everybody, yeah, I'd put it on every day. But I don't need that. I don't need that like that. I think it's more important to keep it's important to keep junk talk and misinformation. And this is what you call alternative facts. Remember that term? She wants to come up with her own theories or whatever. That's fine. I got my own too. But I'm not going to start, preaching and how they should have done their job. Because you know what? The reality is you don't know what the hell you're going to do until you're there. And most of us regular people, I'm not going to claim to be a hero. Most of us would run the other way. Well, these guys have to run toward the situation. And almost every other time, that's what they do, run towards the trouble. Law enforcement, police, sheriffs, the constables, border patrol. That's a hard job. And nobody wants to do it right now. People want to defund the police and take away the resources and not protect the police. And it's hard, Nobody wants to be a cop anymore. It used to be a great thing when you were young. I want to be a police officer one day. That was police officer, fireman, right? But now, not so much. Everybody's afraid to be a police officer. Plus, granted, some departments need more training. I think you got too many trigger fingers, itchy trigger fingers, and too many people are getting shot when they shouldn't be getting shot. People should be tased more, or with a beanbag instead of a gun. If dude doesn't have a gun, he shouldn't be shot with a gun. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not an expert. I've been into martial arts. I've got martial arts background. I do have a security background, but I don't have a tactical police background. It's different. But I think too many people are getting shot that shouldn't be getting shot. And that's a whole other issue, a whole other problem. So very tragic. More and more every day, more photos come out, more stories of these kids, and it's rough. It's rough. Valley Girl, you're right. There's never enough training. You can train for situations. You can train for 5 years for a situation. I mean, look at their SWAT team. They had just had training and then touted that they had training the other day, just recently, right? If not the same week, I think, or the week past. And then this happened. So you can train all you want, but the truth is that real life is different. And real life is different. And I'm not going to criticize anybody or anything right now because I don't have all the facts. I don't have all the information. And I don't know what happened. So we'll see what kind of information comes out. On another note, I heard from, I got a message from, I won't say his name yet. He was one of the jurors for Melissa Lucio. And he messaged me once before also, kind of asked me generic questions, what's going on with the trial and this, but I didn't know who it was. I found out yesterday he was one of the jurors. And he feels, talking about Melissa Lucio now, he feels horrible. He feels he's a God-fearing man. He feels that she should be given another chance and a new trial, and that she should be vindicated. And he feels horrible. He's in a very bad place after all this had happened, and where he ended up putting Melissa. That's how he feels like it. That's what he feels like. And tough. Guilt killer. It's got to be horrible. And he said he feels bad because, so much that was not introduced. They didn't hear it till after the guilty verdict. And they're like, what? You know what? If we would have heard that, she'd be at home right now. If we would have known this and we would have seen that, she'd be at home right now. And that's tough. I can't see. And that's another situation. I can't. You want to put yourself there, but when you're a juror, you only hear what they want you to hear. You're not supposed to talk about the case, right? You're not supposed to listen to radio, social media, TV. So you can gather your own deduction from everything you hear on the news and the social media. They don't want that. You can only deliberate on what they show you in the courtroom. Just the same thing with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. The jury could only listen to the courtroom testimony. They couldn't hear all the social media, everybody hating on Amber, some people hating on Johnny. They couldn't hear none of that. They couldn't hear, look at how she's been the last few years, or a lot of opinion. They could not hear none of that. They have to go only by the judge says here, you can only use this, this, and this. Make your judgment based on that. So they do. And they think they did the right thing. Of course, later they find out, look at this and this testimony. And they were just like, We sent somebody to the electric chair, to death row on that, and they were all very angry. That's why 4 or 5 of them came back and said, if I would have known that, I would have voted different. And I'll bet you she would have been home right now. I'll bet you. So now, just waiting on the district attorney to make his decision. Her attorneys have to present everything they've got. So for the DA to review it, Louis Science, he's got to review everything. And he's going to be the one to say, yeah, you know what? We got enough. We got enough here. Let's try her again. But guess what? He's going to go for the death penalty again. He already said so. And then the other part is, he doesn't even have to do a trial. He can go, nah, here's a new execution date. And put a new date. And that doesn't have to happen in 2 weeks. This can carry on. He can let this go on for 20 years, 30 years. And she's going to remain on death row, just without an execution date. But she's still on death row. That's the reality. That's the reality. So, yeah, okay. Man, idiots. Oh my goodness. The fools that are out there. But, hey, you guys can say what you want. You want to insult or say stupid crap? You guys already know how I feel about that stuff, and how I take that. If you think that bothers me, you got another thing coming. Knock yourself out. So, yeah. So that's the story with. Okay. So then the other day I got questions about did the baby Mariah get her headstone yet at the cemetery? And the answer to that was, as of right now and as of the weekend, it was a no. All right. A friend of mine went there, stood there, and still sees the marker that the funeral home, the cemetery, puts there. So shortly thereafter, John Lucio, Melissa's son, commented on that same post that everything's in the works. It takes a few weeks for them to make the thing. Kind of bothered me a little bit, the comment that was said, well, it's been 15 years, what's a few more weeks? And I was like, yeah, that didn't go over well. Because honestly, my personal opinion, it shouldn't take this long. But I mean, if it's in the works and it's truly going to happen, well, then I'm glad. And I think right now, I'll say, I think right now that's the most important thing right now. It's horrible that she doesn't have one. So I hope that does get put in there quickly. Yeah, let me refresh this thing real quick. Don't go away. Hang on. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I hope they get that thing resolved. And if he says it's happening, I want to believe it, and we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. But I'll update you guys on that. Hey guys, if you know Lori Gidney, she's one of our viewers. I believe she's from Nevada, and she had to open up a new Facebook account. So you see her, if she's sending you message requests, friend requests, that's legit. That's her That's her, legit her. It's not a spam, or it's not a what do you call it, a hack or any of that stuff. So if you guys know Lori from before, go ahead and friend her. That's a legit post. I've been in contact with her. Yeah, so just wanted to give you an update on that. I've been entertaining some interesting messages, and I just find them funny. I mean, you got to laugh at some of this stuff. And a lot of new viewers, a lot of new fans, and obvious they're watching stuff and they're going through. You guys are interacting and commenting on posts and giving your opinions. I posted the other day about Pizza Hut, and they have that book, the reading incentive. Trying to get kids into reading. So there's a book club. I think it's called Book It. And you read certain books, and then at some point you get a pizza, right, from Pizza Hut. So one of the books is it's about, it seems like they're pushing drag queen or dressing in drag, that it's okay. And see, I have a problem with that, because I'll have nobody talk to my child about any of that stuff, any of that sexual stuff, until I'm ready to have that conversation with my child. You're not going to have that conversation for me. And kids don't need to be sexualized at such a young age. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let people push books in situations that they have no business talking to my kid that it's okay to be a drag queen. And this has got nothing to do with drag queens. And it's got nothing to do with LGBTQ for me. Got lots of friends that are LGBTQ, and I love them all. And I told everybody, I grew up in Boys Town, Chicago. I grew up in a gay neighborhood. I grew up in a uber gay neighborhood. Worked around gay people. I had gay tenants, gay friends, gay customers. I mean, you name it. It was everywhere in my neighborhood. My mom taught me growing up, don't judge anybody. They're just people. They're just like me and you. They just happen to like this. And she used to take me every year to see the Pride Parade. She wanted to watch it. And of course, mama's boy, I was a little kid, I had to go with her. And some of the things were too risque. She would cover my eyes or distract me or something. I wouldn't look. But, she taught me to, you treat everybody the same. Just because they're different doesn't mean that they're bad. So that's how I grew up. That's what I learned. So I'm not anti-gay or none of that stupid crap somebody wants to say. I have a problem where you're trying to sexualize my kid at a very young age. That's a problem that I have. And somebody told me just now before I went on that the Disney Channel has got a thing on. Have you seen this thing? Disney Channel, the app. And I'm going to say this word. I shit you not. Let me see. It's on the Disney Channel, Disney Plus. It's called Out, O-U-T. Have you seen this thing? Just for your own education, maybe you should go check it out. So even Disney is, as we know already, it's not like it's not a big secret. Even Disney's trying to push this stuff on your kids. It's like, why? What? Who is behind all this? And I don't think it's just your regular run-of-the-mill gay people. Because just because you're gay doesn't mean that you're a pedophile. That does not mean that. I know some people want to relate the two, but that's not how it is. And all the gay people I know got no interest in being with children. It's nothing like that at all. So who's behind it? And people are scared to talk about this stuff. You get some comments, when I post it, you get some comments, but then you get nothing. And I know people are afraid to comment because you're going to get chastised by some LGBTQ people or whatever. You know what? It's my child. Don't sexualize my child. None of your business. None of your business. Nothing personal? Well, yeah, actually it is personal. And, I've got hey, Paul, Chuck, how's everybody doing? Roxanne, some of the peacocks are here. Hello, welcome everybody. Jean, Lilo. You know what? Everybody can have their opinion, and you can put your opinion here, and we can talk about it. That's fine. Just don't be an asshole. If you're an asshole, I'm going to kick you out of here. And I don't even mean, you can curse even. You can say bad words. You can say your bad words in the chat. I'm not going to pretend to be uptight like that. But if you start calling each other names and start with some other stupid crap, yeah, you're gone. You'll be out of here. I got no problem with that. So just chill. All opinions are welcome. I don't care which way you say. And we'll just disagree. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. Good Lord. I don't know what the hell happened. When I grew up in Chicago, the gays just wanted to be accepted and just leave us alone. Let us be. And that's all it was. Leave them alone, let them be. And we coexisted. Everybody, it was almost like a don't ask, don't tell. And, you had the few that were more outspoken or louder or flamboyant or whatever. And who cares? But they just wanted to be left alone, live your life. Let them live, let them be. I don't care who you love. It's none of my business. Just don't be an asshole to anybody. That's my business. I don't like when you're an asshole. To me, that's more important than whether or not you like the same sex. Whatever. That's none of my business. And that's the truth. I don't care if you're gay or whatever. Pride Week. Has Pride Week gone? Pride Month? Used to be Pride Week. Now it's Pride Month. Has it gone too far? It doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is that if you don't come out and say, I'm inclusive, and make it known, I'm inclusive. If you don't say that, then they don't like you. You're homophobic or something. And I think that's the most ridiculous bunch of crap that there is out there. All of these businesses here in Brownsville, you know what? They're all inclusive. You know why? They welcome your money. They welcome your money. How are you going to say, I don't want no gays in here? Guess what? You're going to lose business. And that's stupid for you to say, I don't want no gays in here. But if I have a storefront business, why do I have to say, I'm inclusive and put the flag or a sticker? I don't need to do that. I've been inclusive already. Now they just want to shove it in your face. And I guess that's the part I don't like. I don't understand. And I'm sorry, but I don't believe in all of these stories I hear of anti-gay this at the store, or anti-gay that, or he was beat up. I don't see it. I haven't seen it. I haven't. And if it is a problem, and if it has come up, and if I do see it, well, then yeah, then we got a problem. But is it like an epidemic? Is there a rash of these things happening all over the place that I haven't heard about? I don't think so. You know, I don't know. I got to look up. Is there a straight Pride Month? Or some will say it's, the whole other 11 months are straight Pride months. Has it gotten a little out of? Yeah, it's gone maybe a little bit too far. I think if there was a business that did not cater to a group, or did not, was not friendly to LGBTQ, for whatever their own reasons are, should you boycott them? No, I mean, if you're part of the LGBTQ and they're not gay friendly for whatever their reason, if it's religious, well, you know what? Then there's like the bakery thing, the bakery didn't want to make a cake for a gay wedding because it's against their religion. They don't agree with that whole life. Well, you know what? Okay, let it be. Go find another baker. I'm sure there's plenty of gay bakeries out there. Plenty. So why do you got to sue that guy, put him out of business? I don't get that either. I don't agree with that either. I think, unless I'm really wrong, we're at a day and age where everything would be going along just fine if there weren't people to start making noise. The activists, right? Saying that all this anti-gay stuff is going on, or anti-LGBTQ stuff is going on. It is. And you know what? If there wasn't so much noise about it, we probably wouldn't hear about any of it. Since when has McDonald's turned away, anybody? Since when has any of the malls, any business at all? Since when have they turned away somebody just because they're gay? I mean, blatantly because they're gay. I don't know. Getting too much. We're getting way too much into this. So yeah, I mean, we'll pick that up a little more, and I would like to have some LGBTQ people on later to discuss. You want to come on the show and discuss it? Please do. For the record, gay friendly here. That's no secret. You guys know Bam. Bam's here somewhere. He's watching. Say hi to Bam. And met him back in 2014 or 2015. I love the guy. He's a very, very good close friend of mine. And yeah. So I don't care what you are. I just care that you're an asshole. That's what I care about. And later on, if you don't like the show or you don't like what's being talked about here, you guys can split, change the channel, and go watch somebody else. I would hope anybody LGBTQ can come on and say what you want to say. And I got no issues with anybody. Unless it's somebody trying to kill me or my family and trying to kill others. Yeah, you know what I mean. I got no problem with whatever your proclivity is. None of my business. So if you want to try and say I'm homophobic or whatever, good luck with that. So if anybody wants to come on later, if you got an LGBTQ issue or a problem or a disagreement, I'll be glad to have you on also. I'd gladly give you your point of view. Any of you guys can come on and say something. I don't do phone calls, but I can give you a link and you can come on the screen. You don't have to share your video. It'll be just like a phone call. It'll be the audio only. So when it says StreamYard wants to, permission to use your camera, you say no. It will always ask you. They want permission to use your camera. You say no. And then it's just a voice conversation. It's just a little icon in black. So think about that for tonight. If you guys want to say anything about any of this stuff, we're going to continue this later tonight at 10:30. So, yeah, and then from this we can go into, the racism conversation. And another thing I haven't experienced too often in non-Chicago, I never experienced racism at all. I've experienced racism against me from Mexicans, believe it or not. And yes, I've been called a coconut, and that doesn't bother me. Call me what you want. Call me all those derogatory terms. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. If it makes you feel better, well, that's your problem. The coconut is not one that in particular bothers me. I grew up around very, very young. It was all Mexican, Puerto Rican. And then as I got older, gentrification started. And yeah, there was more whites in the neighborhood. And I grew up with whites and worked with them and worked for them. And that's just how I grew up. So I speak a little different. I was educated a little bit different. I learned things a little different in a big city. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. I was born in 1968 at Cook County Hospital in Chicago. So you want to talk about being born into a melting pot? That was it. I got nothing against anybody except assholes. That's who I have a problem with. So, yeah, and it's funny that in this day and age, again, I love that term, in this day and age, should we have racists around? No, we shouldn't. Why do we? And racism is not, you're not born a racist. You're learned, you're taught. So if somebody was a racist, chances are their mother or father or family members. And that was taught to that child. And that child grew up racist. But I don't believe you're born racist. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. You're not born racist. It's all learned. It's learned. And if your parents were whatever, that's too bad. We're in 2022. The problem is you got activists, people saying, oh, there's racism everywhere. There's racism there. There's racism there. There's racism there. Slavery. Yeah. Well, you know what? The Mexicans were slaves too. The Mexicans were hung by trees too. They were lynched right here in Brownsville, in the valley. So anyway, that's a whole other topic. That can be an endless one. And we'll touch on some of this stuff later with Abel and anybody else. If any of you guys want to join in the conversation, if you don't want to be on video, that's okay. We'll put you on audio only. And just get in touch and let me know. But yeah, it's going to be, somebody said, does it got to be so late? Yeah, it's got to be 10:30, Chuck. Come on, you can do it. Chuck, you can do it, man. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And I was accused of just trying to hit people up for Cash App or whatever. That's one of the messages I got over the weekend. I mean, look, I even forgot to put my little things at the bottom of the, it's not my goal. It helps here and there. Yes, I'm not going to lie, but it's not my goal. I'm not here just to splash my Cash App. And I even forgot to do please like me on Facebook at Manny Behind the Mic, and give me a subscribe on YouTube. Though that's where I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'd like to get to a point where I can get some kind of a monetization going on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, please go ahead and do that. It takes a second. And so right now, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to gather my thoughts, and there'll be more to talk about tonight at 10:30. Hope you all can make it. Thanks for hanging out with me right now. Here, I'll just put this up there in case you don't know. Give me a like. We have a lot of new viewers, a lot of new fans. I appreciate you all. Welcome. Welcome to my page. We talk about everything and anything, and even ridiculous stuff and ridiculous people. And there's not too many topics that are, unwanted. It's just nothing very graphic and vile. You know what I mean? We'll save that for a super late show. We've done that before. So I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out. Coming on just about an hour. Yeah. We'll come back at 10:30. Hope you can make it. We'll continue and expand on all this and some other items too. I will have Abel Vela with me. He's going to join me tonight. He hasn't been here for a while. And so he will be joining us. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Enjoy your dinners if you're going to go have dinner or whatever you got. And we'll see you tonight at 10:30. All right. I'll look forward to you guys being there.